For USCFootball.com, I'm Keely Eure here with Dan Weber. Instant analysis of USC's 10th practice of spring. It was another beautiful day out here. Shoulder pads only. I thought it was a pretty clean practice. Helton said they missed no assignments on offense, so it was a pretty good day for USC's offense in that regard.
I missed a lot of deep passes, but no assignments. And that was one of the conversations afterwards is, we really got to figure out how to hook up, on the deep balls, because they're pretty pleased with the wide receiver core. They just haven't been able to make that connection on the deep balls. And I know T eventually said, just throw it as when Velas is running, just throw it as far as you can. You can't overthrow him. He said, I know I can't, but that didn't exactly help today.
Mm-hmm. There were a lot of questions about reviewing the scrimmage tape from Saturday. As we mentioned earlier, it was not a pretty day for the quarterbacks, or at least for Jack Sears. And Brian Ellis, quarterback's coach, said the reoccurring phrase was, we've got a long way to go. So it seems like 5 practices left. There's a little bit of concern brewing about where the quarterbacks are at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of stuck. You've got all of the offense in, so all of the install has been, there's no more installation, and they've got all of that in their heads, and then they've got the defense coming at them, and they're giving them blitzes and all kinds of things. So this is not an easy time to be quarterback, and they've got the situation. We didn't see JT Daniels here today, but he's kind of here in spirit, I think, at all times. And I do think Matt Fink has probably clearly separated himself from Jack Sears, but I think they're feeling good about the running backs, for example. They're feeling, if I had a good day today, Jack said had a really good day Saturday. They're feeling good about the offensive line. They're getting good reviews from just about everybody that they're doing. Tim Drevno's talking about how talented that group is and some of the things that they really do well. You're getting down, I mean, because we kind of go through the whole defense and, you look at all 3 levels and you feel pretty good. And that gets, the focus on the quarterbacks. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of special teams, but you get the sense that special teams really should be good with all the athletes who could run on this team. The coverage units ought to be good. They're certainly, working on coming up with that punt returner. The focus where people get nervous is when they look at the quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned how Fink is kind of pulling away. We've heard from players that from a leadership standpoint, Fink is definitely standing out and pulling away. Given the day that Jack Sears had on Saturday, are we starting to see Matt Fink really pull away at this point, at least for spring before JT gets here?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think we knew that, before last week. Although I thought Jack had a pretty good day today, but I think, there's just a sense of that extra year, really matters. And I would say yes. We're seeing Matt Fink kind of assume that position. And I think you had a kind of an interesting story about, Matt Fink kind of as a leader.
Yeah. So I got to talk to Tyler Vaughn today. The interview will be up if you want to check it out. But he said that over the weekend, Matt Fink pulled in Tyler Vaughn and Michael Pittman, and they went over the scrimmage film, looked at things, communicated about like chemistry and things, tendencies that they have. So it seems like he's kind of initiating that, trying to get the 2 wide receivers and all that. So that's something that's encouraging. That's something you'd want to see from that quarterback position. Yeah,
I think that's kind of the natural leadership role he has, and you want to see him being able to take advantage of it. And I think that's a really good move. And we were thinking, would you have a 2-man race coming out of this spring and then a 3-man race with JT Daniel? It looks like you may have a 1-man race coming out of the spring and then a head-to-head, more with JT Daniels in the summer and August. And so it probably is more manageable than a 3-way battle in August.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned this earlier, the O-line. We heard from Helton, we heard from T. Martin. They seem like they're progressing. We see it too, but we don't see the film, so we don't really get a full sense of what they're doing, and they're also so far away, so we can't get a full advantage point of them. But how do you think they're doing? Do you think that those comments are warranted?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing I liked, I talked to Tim Drevno about it, and here's a guy that is basically his career has been mostly offensive line coach and offensive coordinator at Michigan, and coached the O-line when he was here at USC, and he said this is a really talented group. He said Neil's doing a really good job with them. He said they do a great job on double teams. They do a great, they've got good punch. The young centers are playing well. And T added, the tight ends, to the mix. They also talk about, Drevno said, he's not changing anything. He's not taking credit for that. But when you talk to either Clay or especially Clay, he said, well, if you notice what we were doing at goal line and short yardage, we're loading up more quarterback under center, more, two-man backfield, more heavy packages and stuff like that. And he said he's crediting Drevno now, and Drevno's not saying I'm doing that, but they're saying they thought they were very efficient in places where they weren't efficient last year in short yardage. Again, that happened complete other end of the field, so we really couldn't tell on some of the short yardage situation how what they were running when they were where, but they seem really pleased with the efficiency of the short yardage game, which would be a big step up if they feel good about that.
I thought it was interesting. T. Martin said he spends the majority of his days now engineering the running game. He said the passing game is kind of second nature to him at this point, but that seems to be an emphasis for him this spring.
I think that's great. That's really good news. That I think that was the missing element. Ronald Jones, hit some home runs on his own, but I love the idea that they're really, thinking about it, thinking about how to, incorporate everybody and run some smart stuff and maybe get under center and make it just seem all kind of natural. Yeah. That it's not a big deal to put the quarterback under center if you've got an advantage and if you're going to run a two-back set. The results look good from down here on Saturday, and they seem to think that they really were what they wanted in terms of that. The short yardage, I thought Malapai is up to 220 pounds, and I thought he still runs nimbly. He said he probably won't play at that weight, maybe more like 215, but that gives you a couple of lead backs that are 215, and Stephen Carr, you put him in there, he might be a 215 this year. So they're going to be kind of an interesting situation with guys with, the combination of both power and speed. And so when you ask T, is this team going to try to be a run-first team, T says, we are going to be a run-first team. Absolutely no ifs, ands, or buts. So big day talking about the run today.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. T was definitely like, there's no doubt about it, we are a run-first team. But how beneficial is that to have those assets, talent at running back when you have a kind of shaky quarterback situation right now? How comfortable it is to have such skilled running backs?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you can put the offensive line to go with it, you do have the time to kind of let it develop and let them percolate and let them, get up to speed and all that. But I think the good news, last year, I think everybody coming off the Rose Bowl, no matter how much they said we're not going to think about it, that's all anybody could think about is Sam will do something and we'll get the offense together. And it was, you didn't get the sense, say for the O-line, that they had to get their act together, that they had to perform on every play, had to communicate, had to, no bust assignments and all that. I think this year they know they can't do that at all, that they got to get it together. The running backs, you don't have Ronald, but you got three guys that can really, pop it up in there, and we'll see what Stephen does in terms of that, maybe a home run hitter, breakaway guy. But I think there's a realization of what this team has to do, who it has to be. Where last year it might have been a little unrealistic to kind of expect Sam and the combination of Sam, Deontay, and Rojo to kind of save the day. And that's not the case. This is all 11 guys got to get the job done. And so it's a different mindset. There's no question.
Yeah, it's a great point. In that sense, do you think that they're more closer to reality this spring? And do you think they're being successful at adjusting those things that need work?
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. I think close to reality. I think last year it wasn't wrong to think you can relive the Rose Bowl, but you had to do everything right.
Yeah.
And they were trying to relive the Rose Bowl, but everybody wasn't doing everything right on every play. And they weren't, they just didn't look like they were ready for the physical challenges and all the mental stuff that went along with it. And then you ended up with probably a little bit injured Sam trying to make plays that maybe he wasn't quite capable of. And it just didn't go together well. I mean, I think they understand what didn't happen last year and what has to happen this year.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for day 10 of spring practice. For Dan Weber, I'm Keely Eure. For more, check out uscfootball.com.